Welcome back, fellow shop rats. Today we're back on this two-wheel drive Dodge truck project where we're doing some paint work on these doors. Today our goal is to get this masked off and get some primer on. I'll explain my rationale and all my thinking. Even though we're doing a quick and dirty paint job, there's some things I'm concerned about, and we're going to go ahead and prime this. So let's watch the show intro. We'll see you in just a few seconds. I'm Mike, and this is
My Cars Shop.
So a couple issues that I have here, and I've been thinking about this for a while, which is part of the reason I haven't actually worked on this truck for a while. Part of it was just time and logistics in the shop, and the Oakland was dead and I couldn't move it, and this is where I generally do my painting. That's why I have those tarps up over there to block this off. And yes, the Oakland is still sitting in here, but for what I'm going to do today, I'll just throw a tarp over it and we'll call it good. My concern is that somebody else has done a bunch of prep work on this, and I have no idea what materials they used on this. I'm concerned, even though we're going to just be using a real cheap single stage paint, I am concerned about what what could happen when we put that material down. So I would feel more comfortable having a product over all of this that I know isn't going to lift anything that's there, but also create a barrier so that the new paint doesn't soak through and lift anything that might be there as well. I don't think that will be a problem, but one thing you learn by experience with painting, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. 100%, always. So I talked with the owner, and he doesn't want me to get carried away like taking off door locks and all that stuff. He just wants me to go ahead and mask stuff off and shoot it. So I'll get my tape out. It's right over there. We'll start masking things off. But first I want to clean all of this up, get the dust and dirt off of it, wipe it down, wipe it with some Prep Sol, and get it ready to start the masking process. One of the hardest things for me is doing a job that's just quick and dirty and not taking things to show quality level. I've done a bunch of production body shop work, but this is literally just a slam, get it out. Don't care if things are perfectly flat, all that stuff. But I still have this battle between that and my own reputation as a paint guy. And, I know the context, the owner knows the context, the owner's a good friend of mine. And so I'm always in this battle of like, I'm feeling there's some imperfections here and I'm feeling there's some imperfections there. And, I'm so used to wanting to turn out quality work like the Charger and the 47 Ford and other stuff you've seen me do. It's really difficult to let it go. But I'm going to do what we agreed to do, and that is quick and dirty. One thing I can't live with is primer over these door locks. And even though we're not taking them out, I'm questioning whether I still might before we're done. But even though we're not taking them out, I'm going to at least try to clean them up so that they're not gray, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to do that real quick. If I can't get them cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and take them out. It won't take long to take them out. They're just kind of a pain in the butt, but we'll get it one way or another. Okay, so this is kind of what it looked like before here. And I've got one done. I just wanted you to show the difference. And then this one here is cleaned up. So we'll be able to mask that off now. I used lacquer thinner and red Scotch-Brite. And so I'll do the same thing to this one. And we should be good to go. I got a couple spots of bare metal I want to touch with etching primer. And I want to take this window vent off and get it out of the way because it's missing over on the other door. Now that I've got those cleaned up and they look better, the door handles are respectable. One question would be why wouldn't we just do that later? Well, you're using abrasives and chemicals, and when the paint is on there, there's a chance you can mess up the paint. So I'd rather mess up the primer that I can fix than mess up the paint that I could fix but is a lot harder. So now I'm going over the whole thing with a Scotch-Brite and paying particular attention to edges, stuff like that. These little edges here are what can often peel down the road, and so you want to be sure you go around those good Again, we don't know what's done underneath, so there's still a chance it's going to peel, but we're literally doing this paint job for less than 500 bucks. So this is not a high dollar paint job at all. I think the primer was $175 to $200, and the paint is going to be right around a couple $100. So this is literally a cheap and dirty paint job. Okay, I already did that one. So I got some spots up in here I want to touch up, and I got some duct tape stuck there for some reason. So we'll get that done, and we'll be able to mask this and then hit this with some etching primer. Next step then is we're going to go over this with prep sol. You've heard me say this many times before, but I'll say it again. Clean rag. Do not put your rag over this and do this. Dump it. If there's any contaminants on your rag, you'll wash them right back in, and we don't want that. And we just dumped it on the floor. All good. So our goal is to get all the grease, anything like that that's on here, off. He's been kicking around the shop for quite a while. It's part of the reason I want to get them done and get them out of here. Get them back to the truck. The next thing that's coming here is the box for the truck, I think. And we'll get that all done up, and then the truck itself will come. And we may paint the box itself separate from the rest of the truck. We'll paint the truck with the doors so we don't end up with any color mismatch issues. But, okay, different rag for different door, but that way if there's any contamination on here, we're not bringing it over there. It looks like I need to do a little teeny bit more Scotch-Brite work right up in here. Yep, got a little bit of surface rust there around that window, so we'll get that fixed up. One thing about paint and body work, you can't be in a hurry. It takes time, and a lot of time. And of course, the better the quality of work you do, the more time it's going to take. So don't be in a rush. That's why paint jobs turn out like crap, and that's why paint doesn't stick to a vehicle, because people are in a rush. When I do this the final time before we prime it, we will have two rags, a wet one and a dry one, and we'll be wiping after we put this down. Right now it's just more of a wash. I just want to get it just washed up and cleaned up and ready to yeah, it's not too bad. We got some little dings and dents. Anyway, get it ready to put the primer on and mask off, I should have said. Okay, that's pretty good. So let that dry, and then we'll get the probably mask it off next. I got to Scotch-Brite that one first. And now we begin my least favorite part, masking. I hate masking, but it's got to be done. So we'll go around and mask off the handles and the locks and all of that stuff. A lot of this I just put tape on there, and then I'll take a razor blade and buzz around it. Some of it you can't do that with. But obviously you have to do a good job with the masking, or the job won't turn out good. So, you know, it's kind of important. Again, we'll do some cutting and trimming, but you get the idea anyway. I'll come back when I've got all of this masked off. So obviously you can see that the prime or the tape is just everywhere. And now I'm going through and doing the trimming. This is way faster, in my opinion, than trying to go through and just get it all right. Then if I cut it wrong, so what? But it's a tedious process, like I said, and I just try to make short work of it as much as possible. And of course, when you're using a razor blade, you get a nice fine line, and that's nice, because it's nice to do nice things for the nice. Okay, this is all done here, so we just got to go around there. But you can see how I do that. I wouldn't necessarily do it this way on a show car, but again, in the context here of a production job, just trying to get it done and get it, just get it done. So I take my fingernail, I go along like this and find where it is, and then take my razor blade and just go do a cut in. Yeehaw! And then once it's cut, I can just peel it, because it's a peeling. This will get remasked when we paint. We're not going to leave this on here. This is just for the prime, so lather, rinse, and repeat, but it's got to be done. I got this one all masked off. I'm going to go ahead and touch up the bare metal spots. This is etching primer. If I wasn't using etching primer, I wouldn't be using urethane primer. I would be using epoxy, but I use an etching primer and then a urethane. Otherwise, if I wanted to do just one coat underneath, I would do an epoxy. And well, the reality is, if I was going to block sand, I would still probably use a urethane even over the epoxy. But I've been doing this process with etching primer since way back in the days when I painted with lacquer. So it's nothing new here. Just touching things up a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Anywhere there might be a little of that bare metal. Okay, looks good. Looks real good. All right, so that's gonna dry. We'll go over and get this one done, and we'll be back. Take you around for the tour here. Everything's all masked off. This one thing of tape doesn't want to stick very well, but it'll be all right. That roll is now gone. It's older than old. It's good for priming. We won't use it for painting. So that's good. That's done. Got all my bare metal spots touched up. Looks good. Okay, my primer gun is all cleaned up now. It's got the larger orifice in it. These are ready. Everything's masked off. We're good to go. Just going to wipe it one more time with Prep Sol real quick, and we'll be ready to shoot it. The temperature now is about 70 in here, so it's pretty good. Got the Oakland covered up, not worried about anything else at this point. This primer does not put out much overspray at all. So we'll shut the heat down as soon as I get this wiped down, spray it, and get the exhaust fan on to suck all the fumes out of here, and that should be it. We're not putting on a real heavy coat. Again, the whole goal is to seal this, really. So we're just putting on a coat, and it is what it is. We're not doing more body work. We're not doing anything. This is just a slam bam, thank you ma'am, kind of paint job, and just to make it look nice. It's going to be a cool truck when he gets it done. Hopefully have it on the road next summer. Doors are looking pretty good. A lot of sand scratches that I didn't see in there before because, well, I didn't do all the prep work on this. You've seen the episodes where I did, but I think they'll mostly block out with this primer. Yeah, there's a couple dents in there that are troublesome, but again, we're trying to keep things in context here, so as long as we don't end up with any sand edges from where there's some filler and stuff, overall these doors look pretty good. I think it's going to turn out all right. I'm going to give it one more heavy coat as soon as this dries, and we'll go from there. But so far so good. It's, you know, again, in context of what we're doing here is just a quick slam bam, make it one color. So, and there we go. Looking good. Got some waves, they'll block out mostly. Got little bullseyes in this one. They should block out. Again, we're not trying to make it perfect, but it's gonna look really respectable when it's done. Yeah. So you can see we got some bullseyes there. I may need to hit that one more time. If I had more primer, I would put another coat on it right now, but I don't. So I guess we'll leave it up to the owner, what he thinks, how much he wants to, how fancy he wants it to be. So we'll determine that. But you know, I'm not painting these until we put them on the truck itself anyway. So if we need to touch them one more time, we certainly can at that point. Well, I think that's going to do it for this one. This needs to dry for quite a while, and I got to get the heat fired back up out here and get myself out of here and get some lunch. The fumes are not bad. There's not much overspray in the air, which I'm really happy about. My glasses are trashed, which usually happens, so I'll have to go spend 2 hours cleaning those, but it's all good. It's fine. So thanks for watching. We're over on the Face thing. We're over on Instagram. She loves us, gives us cookies and stuff like that. We're here on YouTube, so share this with all your friends, your enemies, strangers. Share it with anybody. Share it with people from other planets. We don't care. The more subscribers we get, the more viewers we get, the more that YouTube algorithm likes us, and we can do more and more and more work, and that's the goal. I have so much I want to share with you, and I appreciate all of your support, all the stuff you guys send me, all the gifts. Thanks so much. I'll keep rocking it here if you guys will just keep rocking it there. All right? Rock!